Hi guys, I am Asif Ali and you're watching CGHOW video, and today I have another video from League of Legends and I will cover these effects in this video. So let's start this.
CGHOW. CGHOW.
First of all, subscribe my YouTube channel and also click on bell icon so you will receive all new video notification. So first effect is also very nice, and after that we have some effects here. And I'll check randomly, and this type of effect I will cover this, and this orb I will also cover this. Let's just start this and see how much I can cover. So first effect is this, a beam I have already covered yesterday in my last video. If you see, I have two videos of League of Legends, and this video I covered the beam, so I don't think I have to tell you again. But the bottom part, this bottom part I will cover. This Shockwave type that is on ground, then it's little bit upside. So to create this type of thing you need to create a mesh, and I'll quickly create a mesh with Slender. I'll just delete this, and I'll scale this down, and then I'll add some edges. This one will be almost on the ground, then the second one will be there, and third one, and the fourth one. The mesh will be something like this, and you can smooth this, but before that I will normalize the UVs so it will fit the box, and then I can smooth this and I can use this now. So I will use the same folder, oops, not 5 4, and I'll use same folder, copy, and in Maya I will export this. Before that I will scale this much and freeze, then export. So this will be my Shockwave. I will put SM for that, and here I will import this mesh, and now I need a texture. So again I will take the same texture like I have already shown you how to create, that is noise texture, but let's say I'll create again that texture for you so you can check how do I create that. So I'll just take the rend cloud, and then I will use the minimum, and I will use this as it is, save on the same path, and noise, and here I will use this Lambert as my M Shockwave. I'll use same and import this texture. I'll use same mesh here and use this texture directly. Two-sided unlit. So this is how it looks, and if I pan this texture, not this direction, and now I can tile this, 0.2 and 2. So it's almost same thing like it's happening here. If you see on the ground, this purplish, and it's also fading from the top and the bottom. So to do that, I'll make this 5 and 0.5, 0.5, I think. Okay, so now I will use a mask, and I need green, and if I use sign, it will be on both sides. I'll make it 2 on both sides, then I can power it and then multiply this with my actual texture. So it's now fading from both sides. I think I will increase this. This looks nice. So I'll use additive. Now you can use particle node and all thing to change the color. So I'll quickly add this here, multiply, and save this. And let's create the Niagara. Again, fountain, FX. I'll delete this and take a mesh renderer and use this Shockwave mesh and the same material, this, or write this. Delete these, I don't require these. You can use spawn rate like 3 or 4 if you need, and then you can, this is also panning, and you can randomize the size, and also you can use scale color and make the alpha fade in fade out. So at 0.5 it will be 1, at 0 it will be 0, and also you can change the color like something purplish, and live 0.5 and 1. You can use this type. You can adjust the timing and scale and all, but the basic idea is you can create this type of this, not this, this type of shockwave like this. And then there's a particle that rotating around this character. So how you will do that? You need a texture. So I will get a material, radial exponent, and then particle color. Connect this and this. Additive. Save. To rotate particle, there is lots of way to do that. So if I'll duplicate this fountain and I'll delete this, and I'll take the sprite render and use this radial. So I have this radial, and if I'm spawning like 100 particles, and if I take the sphere location, let's decrease this, I think 40, and now I can use vortex force or velocity, already rotating, and you can also use vortex velocity. See this particle rotating, but here in video these are stretching. So let's align this on velocity, and here use this 0.1 and 1, and you can see these are already stretching, and you can make this glowing. And you can also make this sphere hemisphere if you want, and you can decrease spawn rate according to that reference, but this is how you rotate the particles. Then the ring on the bottom I have already cleared in my last two videos. In both videos it's pretty easy. So what you have to do, you have to just duplicate this emitter, and I will not align this on velocity. I'll use custom alignment and then delete this and use align sprite on mesh and align it on Z. Then increase the size. You can see it's aligned on Z, and instead of this type of texture you can take a ring texture, and I have already a ring texture here on day 2, this ring material, so I will use this here. Now you can see I have ring on the ground, and this is our 3 emitters. Then particles are moving upward and stretching too much, so you can again duplicate your rotating particles, and instead of rotation I will add velocity. Velocity, and I will scale the sphere on Z, so it will look like this. Then I will add random velocity. Oops, why my Unreal is crashed, and I don't know if my file is saved or not. So let's see. So how much we have left? Okay, okay. I just don't have that last emitter. So I'll quickly scale this X sphere on Z, and then remove the vortex, add the velocity, and randomize this. And I will stretch these too much and fade it. So we have something like this. Color is different. This is cyan. You can of course change the color. I'll save it, and then we will leave this effect now. Now we have these rings coming to the ground. See, after this, these rings coming to the ground. So how you will do that? Two ways to do that. I think there's lots of ways, but I'll show you two ways. So if I duplicate this ring that I have already, first thing what I can do, I can add velocity on -Z and increase the spawn rate. This is how you do that. And second thing what you can do, you can disable your velocity and you can use spawn burst like 10, and if I take the position from here, just drag the position here and break this, and if I multiply Z with execution ID, now I can offset these. Now I can offset these. I have a stack of rings, and now I can animate this. I can add velocity also. Velocity is not working here. You can do one more thing. You can copy this and add, and then paste this again. So now your add will offset those rings. See, and you can curve this add, and that's it. And let me just add the curve, so you will have it. So at 0 at 0, at 1 it will be like minus 1900 something. See, these all going together if you want this type of effect. Then next I'll just check randomly. So this will, I will cover this one first. I'll go back and this thing. So we have some shape on the ground and some glow is wiping on this. So how will we do that? So I'll just make a basic texture, make this black, and I'll use the brush and use a symmetry vertical, and now I'll use this brush and you can play with this if you want. Okay, so you have this. You can also add some thickness in between if you want, just to make it a little bit more stylish. And you can control J and you can blur this. Then you can merge these together, and then you can again use the minimum if you want. Otherwise okay, and I'll just undo and I'll use this shape. We have to just cover how you create this type of texture. You can make your own. So this will be my shape. So I'll import this. I have this shape and I'll get the material of this. So this is my material, and basically what I will do, I will just, I'll take the particle color first and multiply the alpha with alpha, and it will go to opacity, and I'll use translucent, unlit, two-sided. And you can also use this texture to multiply with this. So if you add, if you power this texture, it will be more somewhere white, and you can also tile this. Then what you can do, you can add this thing on this, not add, actually first multiply, so it will cut these. Then you can boost these values like 50, so it will glow. If you play with this one, it will glow. Then you can make it more glowing, and so now you have some glow part. And now you can add this to the old one, the basic shape. You have this basic shape, so you can add your glow on this. So if you make it more glowing, you can see it is glowing from some parts. And one more thing you can do, you can multiply this with 0.5 and then add here. So now you can 0.2 or zero point 0.2, sorry. You can now see the variation, or 0.1. So you can now see the variation. And now you can add this here. And then there is some white going on here, blue bright color. So to do that, you have to take U and take the mask. You need this gradient, and if I add some value in this, I can animate this gradient, or subtract. If you use add, you have to take the values to negative. I don't want that, so you can do that. And now if I take three color, although there is lots of way to do that, but I'm just taking three color. Now you can see you have three colors, but if you make the red one 0 and the blue one 0, you will have only green, and this is very white. So if I make this power, now you have this, and you can add this on this. Before that, you can multiply this and also make this green white. So I'll add 1 here, so this will be white, and now multiply it with 10, then add this here, and now this subtract value I will make the dynamic parameter, connect it here and save this. I'll use this material in my FX, like this one. This is ground aligned, so I will duplicate this one, Control and W, and now you have this layer here. So I will just change the material. So we have this thing, and also you can stretch this on one axis if you want. Like I use 50, 100. Oops, what I did. You have to use X and Y separately, like this. And now you can change the color, of course. Did I add the color? No. So I'll multiply this whole thing that going to the emissive, connect this here. Now we have this purple thing, and if I take the dynamic parameter and the first parameter, I can wipe this, but this is coming on whole sprite, not just the my texture. So what I can do, before adding it here, I can multiply this with my alpha. Actually we don't have alpha, we have just a red channel, so I'll just multiply it with and then add this here. So now we have something going on here, and you can of course animate this, but this is also cutting this. I don't want that. Why this is cutting? Let me preview this. My opacity is okay, but I'll just make this one for now. This thing is cutting. Let me saturate this, because I think there's some negative values. Yes, we add some negative values, and now you can see the glow is animating, so you can make it a curve and like that. So going forward, this orb, so we have a sphere, then rotating particle. I have already created rotating particles, and it has also debris, so you can then change the mesh. And now we have this orb and then this effect. So to make the orb is I'll take this noise texture again, and Already it's on a sphere, and I can just take the panel and then texture coordinate. So you will have something like this. And also I think that was Fresnel. Yes, it has Fresnel, so you can take the Fresnel and multiply. And before that I will power it, then multiply it with this texture, and this will look something like this. I'll use transparency here. I think power is too much. Like this. So you can add some colors on this and your orb will be there, and particles I have already created. After this we have this thing, this burst thing, and we have some particle from the center that will use point point velocity, like, but this is my particle. So like you have this particle, you can duplicate this. I'll remove the vortex and add the velocity from point, like this. Take the burst and add particles, and I can also scale this a little bit, and you can see we have this particle burst. You can randomize the life and randomize the velocity also. If I randomize this like 100, 200, now particles are moving randomly. And similarly you can add debris and whole thing. And this texture is just, you have to change the texture, and otherwise this is like our ring that is scaling. Projectile. So I'll just cover this projectile, then we will finish this. Or let me check more effects if I can. I'll just cover this projectile, then we will finish. So to make the projectile like this, I need some mesh. So like we had this mesh, I can also use the same thing. But what I'll do, I'll change the material of this shockwave. This will be my projectile. So I fade it too much, so I will make this 1. Or I'll use this mesh here. Or I will not use sign, so it will just make the upper part faded, only the upper part faded. And now if I save this, and I'll take another particle system. This will be my FX02. Here I'll just turn off all my assets. I'll use same mesh. This is the mesh, this Shockwave mesh. So I'll delete this and mesh. Then the material will be this projectile material, and remove these things. I just need 1 particle, or I'll just use just 1, and life will be constant 1, and this is also 1. So if I stretch this on one axis like C, it will be something like this, like a projectile. And I can color this like So then I can rotate this with initial rotation, and then I can shoot this on Y. So I will take velocity on Y and that plane is moving, maybe 500. So it's moving, and now you can add more elements with this. So I'll duplicate this, and first of all I will generate location event, and here turn on your persistent ID, and then in second one this will be my trail. So I will remove this and take the sprite, and I'll use this radial, add this radial here, remove all these modules and use the event location spawn particle, and I'll use receive location. So you can see this is making this trail, but the life is so much. And this is also spawning from a point. I need a sphere, so I will use sphere location, 10, 20, and then I'll use random particle size like 0.1 and 5, 2, and I'll spawn more particles. And it's also spawning here in front of this. So here in generate in the location, actually I will offset this on Y. So I can put this here, and also randomize life 0.2, 0.01, and then you can add some curl noise if you want. Not here, actually here. Then you can also use the size of sprite to animate our life. So quickly make this float and curve. So we have now one, and now you can add similarly a ribbon. So I will again duplicate this thing, and instead of sprite I will take the ribbon render. Oops, sorry, ribbon. And we have already a ribbon material here in my first video of League of Legends, this one. So we have this, I created this texture from scratch, so you can watch that tutorial also. I will use this material here, make the life constant. Actually I'll remove this and this and this, and I'll use initialize ribbon and make the life 0.1 and ribbon size something high. So ribbon is also I'll just make this one and make the ribbon like 0.5. So we have ribbon, but this ribbon is very wide from the front. So what you can do, you can take the scale ribbon, actually this one, and make the curve, and in starting make it 0 and 0.5, maybe 1, like this, so you can fit this up. And similarly you can add lots of other elements like sparks. You can add smoke and all things. So this is it. I think I have covered lots of basic things to create from this video, and I hope you like this. If you have any query, just comment below the video and don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel CGHOW. Thanks for learning. Bye.